Welcome to day 220 of TFIF 365. And as I've said many times when I started this whole initiative or project or whatever you want to call it on January 1st, we're 220 days in and this has been cathartic. Yes, I'm here to model what supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free looks like in my life and how I live. But doing this, asking myself questions intentionally, strategically, knowing that I have to create content for you, makes me be more consistent and intentional. Because usually what happens is, as thoughts come up, I kind of process them and whatever, I move on. Then the next thought comes up and I process it and I move on. But this has been the fact that it's intentionally modeling supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free has required me to, as I said, be very intentional about, instead of just thinking about it and moving on, like thinking about it and what I want to say about it and what does that mean about it and how does that connect to the next thing. And I've done that too. I do that too, but not in this intentional, because I'm an educator, let me model. And there's a different level of it than me just doing it by myself. And so I said all that to say, having that aha yesterday when I told you that I very audibly heard a voice in my head, my voice saying, basically, this is the job. Why do you keep looking for another job? Why do you keep acting as if this thing you've been tasked with is not important? It's a side hustle. It's a hobby. It's something you do to waste time while you wait for the next thing to come. And since just in 24 hours, I've had so many okay, now the road looks familiar to me, right? Because I've given myself permission to not have to, like I've said, I've removed all the labels, but I've given myself permission. And yesterday was just like that last push I need to chart my own course. And I've been here before. That's the part, chart my own course is not something new to me. And so when I'm continually thinking I have to have a job or there has to be a title, that stuff did not fit, right? That's what I kept saying, nothing fit. I am an economist, but that's not how I want to be labeled or known for. I'm an author. After I wrote the book, I was done. I don't understand. I really don't see how authors talk about the same book over and over again. That's just not how my brain works. I dump the content and I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Now I have 3 more books in me because that book was obsolete once I wrote it for me. Now it's new content for a lot of people, but I'm moving on. I don't want to stay in that. So I am an educator. I am, a business strategist. I am an advisor. And yet those are not the titles that fit. They fit before, but they just did not fit since since the beginning of the year. I've been talking about it. It's like when people ask me, what do I do? The only answer that felt right was to say I model supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free. Now, if you want to know how I do that, I can tell you the specific initiatives and projects and processes and stuff I do that with. But to have a title like doctor, nurse, custodian, teacher, healthcare worker, it just did not fit for me. And so now that I know that I'm not looking for another job, that this is the job, and I've said it, but because I've said it before, this is my work until I die, right? But it always seemed altruistic, like I was doing it as as community helper, and because that's how people treat it, it's a nonprofit thing or a volunteer. No, this is my life. This is how I will be making a living. This is how I will support myself. I don't have anybody to fall back on. The one person who could financially support me has been dead almost 10 years exactly. August 21st, my father passed away 10 years ago. And that's why 2024 was really special to me, because my life completely changed in that time. And so I'm looking for another 10-year sprint And again, like I said, I don't have anybody that can support me financially. And so I can figure this out now that I know that I'm not looking for another job. It makes sense to me that all the pieces that I put together is how I model supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free. And yeah, and I'm no longer gonna, I'm not gonna say that because that's set me up for failure, because I was like, I'm no longer gonna concern myself with because that's not true. What I can say though, when those thoughts, emotions come up that says that what I'm doing is not enough, that it needs to be validated by something outside, I am better equipped to address that narrative now for myself. I'm better equipped to shut it down when it comes up, because I'm no longer in doubt of what my role is, what my job is, right? My job is to live a liberated life. My job is to live fully that Gemini lifestyle, that whole playful, don't follow authority, push against the status quo. It's all of that. It is that part. That's why I always challenge people when they say Geminis or it's the twin and you don't know who you're getting and what. No. Don't put us in a box. We're not a binary. We're just able to navigate our thoughts, emotions in ways that other people aren't, right? So we may show up to you as this thing that we don't know, but we know it very well. Depends on what my energy is that day. And that's how this work is also, right? This work is, when my energy is not there, nothing moves forward. And then the next day, or a few hours later, I could be exuberant because something clicked, like that brain, that thing, something I've been noodling on for a while. I got the answer, and I'm now ready to move forward. And so, as someone who was never liked living in a box, I tell people I was like this at 2 years old, so I know I was a handful. I remember those days, boy. And to be 55 and finally being able to be the bold, confident, fearless person I was at 2, but coupled with the wisdom and maturity of my lived experience, I'm ready to take on the world. So I hope you enjoy what's coming up. I have no idea, but now that I'm no longer questioning my value and being the job thing, the money thing, I'm ready to soar. So until tomorrow, peace. Become a sustaining sponsor at kimcreighton.com/support-the-work and help make this work happen.